everybody, welcome back to Survival Dispatch. With the world basically on lockdown, we're having to find an alternate means of exercise. I love lifting weights. I think weightlifting is a crucial part of training, and it should be a big part of everyone's training regimen. However, I think the bulk of everyone's training regimen, if you're training for general physical preparedness like I do, the bulk of your training should be calisthenics, just body weight calisthenics, squats and push-ups and pull-ups and lunges and all the things you can think of. One, it doesn't require much equipment. My lovely wife here, who is a stud, has got a little bit of a shoulder issue, so she's modifying it when just doing some ring rows. Doesn't bother her shoulder as much. Very easy modification. These rings are pretty inexpensive, and you can do push-ups on them, pull-ups on them, ring rows, dips, all kinds of different varieties of exercises on the rings. And now, just because the apocalypse is happening with COVID-19 doesn't mean that we need to give up on our training. It doesn't mean that we should give up on our fitness levels, and it doesn't mean that we should just get lazy and sit on a couch and overload the system of Netflix. In the middle of a workout right now, the world is pretty much shut down. All the gyms across the country are shut down. And so many of you, like myself, are having to train at home. I train most of the time at home anyway, because I've got a little bit of equipment and I've got the space to do it. But if you're at home wondering what the heck you're supposed to do, you haven't put your Lululemons on in a while, you're gonna have to figure out a way to keep up your fitness at home. I think it's important to train in your everyday clothing from time to time, just so you can get a good feel for how it performs when you're sweaty, when you're running. Have you ever ran in your work boots? Do they rub your ankles raw, rub your heels raw? Do your pants get soaking wet with sweat? And you get chafing in your crotch, which is never good. I just think it's good to test these things out to see how your equipment performs. And if you've never actually tried it out, you'll never know. I think everybody, when they go to the gym, they put on their gym clothes, you know, their gym shorts, their gym shoes. And that's the only clothing that they've ever actually been active in. But it's in a real life situation, that's not gonna be the case. It's not gonna be like, hey zombie, whoa, 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 whoa. Don't chase me down to try to eat my brains until I put my running shoes on. It doesn't work that way. Workout today is very simple. 10 rounds, 10 sets, whatever you wanna call it, of dragging this heavy logging chain here from the barn, right here, about 40, 45 yards to that bush, around it and back. And then in conjunction with that, we're doing 10 pull-ups on a pretty thick bar, which makes a pretty big difference. Most of us are used to gripping barbells. We're used to gripping pull-up bars, which are kind of all the same diameter and easy to hold on to, which is good because it allows you to move more weight, allows you to do more reps. But occasionally it's good to mix that up and do something a little bit different outside the norm, have a little variety. And that's why we're using this pull-up bar here, which is basically just a big dogwood tree that I cut down. And it works pretty fantastic for doing pull-ups. It's very big around and cannot be easily gripped like you would a pull-up bar. But that just adds a whole nother fun spice to life. Argument back and forth about doing pull-ups the way I'm doing them right now. Kipping pull-ups or butterfly kipping pull-ups versus strict pull-ups. I have no issues with both. I do both types of pull-ups, strict pull-ups, dead hangs, whatever you want to call them, and kipping pull-ups. I think there's value to doing both. Kipping pull-ups allow you to do a lot more reps, a lot faster, increasing your work capacity, increasing your power output, which I think is a big deal. Strict pull-ups are great for just gaining upper body pulling strength. But the argument that goes, kipping pull-ups are cheating. It's not cheating. I'm moving my body from A to B. You can do it however you want. There are no rules in real life. If a grizzly bear chases me up a tree, it's not going to care the technique that I use to get away from it. I'm going to get myself up that tree in the most efficient, quick way as possible. I have a love-hate relationship with working out, with exercise. I hate it while I'm doing it. It's not fun really at all. But yet I've done it for years because I'm addicted to the results and the performance that it gives me. And it also gives me a tremendous amount of confidence in my abilities and what I'm actually capable of doing. I know for a fact that I can run a mile in 6 minutes or less. I know for a fact that I can carry myself to the top of the hill behind the house without stopping. And if you've never done these things, you won't know for sure. We fail at the limits of our experiences, and you will fail at the things that you've never done before. So I encourage you to get out, be active, start exercising, start slow. Don't start with 10 rounds of 10 pull-ups and chain dragon. If you've never done anything like that before, that's a bad idea. Start nice and easy, start nice and slow, and work your way up to it. And you'll be amazed at the results and how much better you feel. You'll be amazed at how much more capable you are as an individual. One of my favorite quotes ever by Mark Ripito, kind of a world-class strength and conditioning coach. He says that strong people are harder to kill and just generally more useful. And I think that that's absolutely true. You're going to be more useful in general to the people around you in a situation that requires you to be physically fit, requires you to be strong. If you're that poor schlub that's been sitting on the couch for the past 10 years and are incapable of carrying, you know, a few sandbags from point A to point B without throwing up on all over your feet, you're going to be useless to the crew, useless to your friends, and useless to your family. And I think that that's something that most of us would be, well, at least I know I would be distraught over the fact that I couldn't help the people around me. I think physical fitness is something that's been underrated in most people's preparations. I think most people think because they have a gun and some ammo that they can conquer the world. Talk to anybody that's been in an actual gunfight, anybody that's been in combat. Most of the time they spend moving, running, carrying crap, carrying people. And if you're not physically fit, you're not gonna be able to handle those stresses. I'm on round 8 right now. I got a couple more to do. I really appreciate you joining me for the video. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up, and we'll see you on the next one.